Hi, welcome to Popcorn Theories. I'm Jacob Hirsch.
I'm Jordan Miller.
Calvin Carnell.
So today we are going to talk about Captain America Civil War. It's the next movie in the Marvel Universe, so let's get into it. Alright, so first question is, who will win? It's Captain America versus Iron Man and their respective teams. So who do we think will win?
I think Iron Man's going to win because I actually read the comic book, and Iron Man, it goes on, it's a very long fight, and it goes on, as it progresses, Iron Man and Captain America keep fighting out, but eventually Captain America kind of sees how he can't really be, he can't really try and stop what's happening, and so he kind of gives up instead of actually losing. Well, he loses, but Tony doesn't really beat him. He sort of just says, okay, I'm done.
I also agree with the comment. I'm going with Iron Man.
Okay, so it's Team Iron Man versus Team Captain America. What are the teams? Let's go over those quickly.
Well, I know that on Team Captain America is Ant-Man, Falcon, Scarlet Witch. Well, that means that Vision is on the other team.
Yeah.
So is War Machine is on Iron Man's team, and
I think
some of these characters aren't even actually in it. Like Goliath's not in it. The Thing's not in it.
So while in the comic right here, it's between the entire Marvel universe. While in the movies, it's going to be just like
it's just
like
be
15 people.
Yeah, it's between a set of like 10 to 15 people. Like in the beginning, the whole reason that this thing starts is because a character called Goliath was killed by fake Thor, and Thor isn't going to be in this movie, and Goliath is probably not even going to be introduced in the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Personally, I think Captain America is going to win, probably because it's his movie. So to me, that just means like, oh, he's probably going to win. But
I mean, that is
never know.
That is true. It's their own different universe. Like the MCU is very different from the comic books. Like Spider-Man was supposed to be a much more developed character now, but he's just being introduced into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so they could have a whole different spin out. Like at the end of the comic book, Captain America supposedly dies, but I think that in the cinematic universe,
it's going to be too easy to predict.
Yeah, he's such a big character that it'll be so easy to predict that they might not want to kill him. Also, I feel like if he dies, then there's going to be a big portion of the audience that might just stop watching, maybe, because he's been such a developed character over so much time, and he's so loved.
So speaking of deaths, next question is, who do we think will die? So
That guy right there.
these are all the possible deaths we've talked about, maybe possibly dying or they've hinted at. So want to just go down the list and talk about each person?
Sure.
How about first we say who we think is going to die, and then we'll talk about possibilities.
Well, I think that if you're going to follow the comic books, then Captain America is going to die. But from watching the trailer, there is a slight hint at the fact that War Machine might die, and he gets shot out of the air by, I think it was the Winter Soldier. Right?
Yes.
That's what it looks like, but at the same time,
the editing could just.
It also looks like Vision's headpiece. I saw that.
Well, Vision can't die. I mean, actually, no, he could.
Well, I think he's gonna have to die.
Well, he's gonna have to die eventually, but I think he could die in this movie, and that's how Thanos gets the first piece of the gauntlets. Why isn't he up here? Well,
yeah. In the comics, Captain America dies. Iron Man could die also. Personally, I think a person probably won't die, but would be a good choice would be Black Widow, and the reason for that is because she has close relationships with both Tony and Steve, so her dying would affect both of them rather than just having War Machine die. And
that could be
Tony.
the death that ends the fight, kind of.
Yeah.
Just like how in Batman vs Superman, they both knew a woman named Martha,
Yeah.
who was their mom, and that's how the fight ended.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think, personally, Hawkeye will die. Because, they kind of just don't really need him anymore in the comics.
I mean, they even mentioned he's kind of not really a big character.
And since they have a Captain America dying in the comic, I think they will kill off a Captain America, which will be Bucky. It's going to be a plot twist. That would be a good one. And also War Machine.
So now, something I saw that has been going online is during the trailer, there's a shot where it's like brief, half-a-second shot, where Captain America is punching Iron Man, and in the background you can see Bucky lying there like missing an arm. So do we think he's dead?
I don't think he's dead because his bionic arm isn't connected to him. Well, it's connected to him, but it's not actually like you can take it off.
The picture is like he's like lying on the ground.
Could have been knocked out.
That too. But yeah, I think any one of these characters is fair game. Let's talk about the new Avengers on the team. So a lot of them we've seen before. Some of them are new. But let's talk about like these four right here. So first of all, Ant-Man's in the movie. So Ant-Man had his own movie this past summer, and he is now going to be on Team Captain America, right?
Yeah.
There is reports of him actually growing and becoming Giant Man in this film.
So he could be like the kind of MCU version of Goliath?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. What I think they're going to do is I think they're going to try and play Ant-Man off as Spider-Man. Like, he's going to be kind of the sarcastic one because, well, we haven't actually seen a Spider-Man in the MCU yet, so.
Yeah, I think Black Panther probably have the biggest role out of all these new Avengers. Just because we get introduced to them, they're going to probably want him.
Yeah, we've seen all of these characters before.
Yeah, Black Panther's another really good one. I'm excited to see him in the film. I think it's going to be a good part. He's supposed to be like mid-teams, but more Team Tony. So next is the segment we've all been waiting for. This is about Spider-Man. So first,
Now I can talk
this is
about
the
him.
HD image of Spider-Man.
I know I feel like I'm 99% of the internet right now, but I really don't like the costume. The Spider-Man logo is very, very small. And the bionic eyes, like, that doesn't look like an iron suit. Peter Parker gets an iron suit in the actual comic books. That doesn't look anything like it, because it was supposed to, like, really bulk him up. He's supposed to have, like, spider legs. His eyes shrinking, what is that?
Personally, I really like the costume. I think it's very faithful to the comics, because in the comics his eyes move to emotions and stuff. What I think, like, this might be, like, the suit Tony builds him, because I think he's going to start out with, like, a hoodie, and, like, jeans, and kind of just, like, a little ski mask rather than...
He's supposed to be, like, 14 years old in high school.
Right. They're going for a really young Spider-Man in this movie.
I think that was a good move by the directors to go with very young, because that's how it should be.
Except in the comic books, he's been Spider-Man for, like, 2 years.
In this, he's been Spider-Man for a year. That's the idea. Like he's been like going around. Like
also if you can see like down here, you're in camera, but you're kind of annoying, but that's okay. Like right down here, he actually has Spider-Man does have a utility belt, and that's meant to hold like more of the cartridges, which means actually in the trailer you can see when he's doing the flip. If you kind of pause it mid motion, you can see him with his arm out, and he has the web shooters that he built, not the organic ones.
See it over there.
Well, I don't think that's part of the web shooter. I think it's just part of the costume because it's also there here, that black strip. I think the web shooter is more like if this is his body, it's like down here.
But what if it goes up the side of him?
Oh, you think cool. What if the
like if he has
like they connect here and then he just goes out?
Yeah.
I think that he's still gonna stick with the whole like replacement cartridge thing, but I don't know. It's still a pretty good idea. Also, I'd be very impressed if he could actually do that without getting him to stick to his suit.
So, are we excited about Spider-Man, yes or no?
Yeah, he's supposed to be an extremely essential character to Captain America, even though I think that in the movie I think he might have like maybe 5 minutes of screen time, even though he's supposed to be extremely important because he's like the kind of character who switches between sides.
Yeah, I also think he's gonna have a minimal part, so I was excited to see his presence in the trailer, but I don't have too many high expectations for it.
So speaking of the trailer, do you think they should have saved him for the movie, or should they have?
I think what they did was good. I think that they had him at the end of the trailer. Now, I mean, there are some trailers where that really didn't work out. Batman vs Superman. And then there were trailers where you had a character that was kind of hinted to be introduced. So we all thought, oh, maybe Spider-Man's going to be in here. I wonder if they're going to do it. They didn't have it in the first trailer. I'm not even sure if they had it in the second one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and so in this one, I don't even know what Iron Man says. He said like underoos or something like that.
Yeah, as in like pajamas. Like.
Oh,
that's
like, really funny actually.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. If he says pajamas, that means he doesn't like a suit. Well, it could mean that he doesn't like a suit. I bet that Iron Man is going to build him a new suit after that whole flip, taking the shield thing. As you can see, he already took it.
So, there are 2 reported villains for this movie. Personally, I don't know that much about either of them. Crossbones Baron Zemo.
Oh, isn't that the head of Hydra?
Yeah. So what I know about
Baron Zemo was the guy in Winter Soldier who was like part of the computers who died, wasn't he?
no that
Dr. Baron Zemo, the German guy.
That was the first one.
that was someone else, but that wasn't him.
Oh, I know.
All I know is that this is the guy from the last movie who looked like he was dead at the end, but then like he kind of like came back to life.
I didn't really come back to life. It was just like he blew up. And he
Right,
was
like he was severely burnt. Frank Grillo is this guy. He played the role in the last movie. I don't think he was evil, but now obviously he is. And
I guess those are burns.
yeah, and then Daniel Bruhl. There is no picture of this Baron Zemo yet, which I think is smart. Like they're kind of keeping him really low. Something
the villain's a secret.
Batman vs Superman did not do, where they released the final villain. I think he's going to be the
They
final.
released the zombie-looking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think Crossbones is more going to be like beginning of the movie, like seeing where everybody is and they're finding Crossbones. Wow.
I think it's just going to be Captain America finding Crossbones.
Right. Well, then Baron Zemo is going to be at the end as like the big. So every Marvel movie has a post-credit scene. So there are 3 big Marvel movies coming out in the next couple years. First off, we have Doctor Strange, and actually they just finished shooting the other day, which is cool. So this is the costume of Doctor Strange. Then we have Thor Ragnarok. I don't know much about this movie besides the fact that Thor and Hulk are going to be in it, and it's going to be kind of like they're calling it like
World
a buddy
War
cop, like a buddy cop movie where the two of them.
Oh, that's awful.
I think it might be fun. And then of
I
course,
just don't really like Thor. Thor is not a good standalone character in my opinion.
and then we have Avengers 3: Infinity War. So I think the post-credit scene can be about any of these movies. Personally, I don't want to see Thanos again because they've teased him like 3 times, and like he hasn't been doing anything yet. So I'd rather not see him. I would not be surprised if they do Doctor Strange.
I think that they would do Doctor Strange and Ragnarok because at the end of Avengers 2, there were like 2 post-credit scenes. There was one where they introduced the twins,
Right.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and then there was another post-credit scene where they had Thanos just like kind of like leaning over his spine, just like, yeah, I'm coming for you guys.
So
Like the creepy guy he is. Ooh.
if you could have any after-credit scene or post-credit scene, what would it be? What do you think would happen in it?
I think if it's Doctor Strange, it's going to be him sort of like on his journey and like him coming up to the door. And if it's Thor Ragnarok, it's probably going to be like him finding Hulk in the Quinjet.
I think it might be I think it might be Hulk. Maybe like maybe a red Hulk in there.
Yeah, because the General's in this movie from Incredible Hulk, and he becomes Red Hulk in the comics. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like Thor finds Hulk flying in the Quinjet and like pulls him out and it's like, I need your help, and then they like fly up or something. That would be cool. Okay, so that's gonna be our show for today. Please subscribe, like this video, and come back for our next episode of Popcorn Theories. Let's go around the table and reintroduce ourselves.
I'm Jordan Miller.
Carmel.
And I'm Jacob Hirsch, and we will see you later.